Yeah, it was really cool. A lot of people have been asking for a while to be able to buy my kits, and yeah, I think there's two colorways. I decided to wear purple today because I felt like it gave more day vibes, and obviously there is an orange kit for night. So yeah, I'm really excited, and I guess I'll take the free promo question. There's a pop-up at Federation Square, and you can buy the kits in person there.
Coco Gauff has done it once again for New Balance, and this time, the numbers are absolutely staggering. The young tennis sensation has proven yet again that she is not just a phenomenal athlete on the court, but also an absolute marketing powerhouse off it. What happened in the aftermath of her first match at the Australian Open has sent shockwaves through the entire sportswear industry, and competitors are left wondering how New Balance managed to pull off such a brilliant marketing coup. Let me break down exactly what transpired. Coco Gauff stepped onto the court at the Australian Open and secured her first victory of the tournament with the kind of composure and skill that has become her trademark. But what happened next in her press conference is what truly set the sporting world and the business world ablaze. Instead of just discussing her match, her strategy, or her opponents, Coco made a special announcement that had clearly been planned with military precision. She confirmed to the world that her kits and merchandise from the Australian Open were live and available for purchase on New Balance stores right at that very moment. The impact was immediate and absolutely explosive. New Balance sales didn't just increase, they skyrocketed. The brand experienced a sudden surge in sales that exceeded even their most optimistic projections. Fans who had just watched Coco dominate on court immediately rushed to the New Balance website and physical stores to get their hands on the exact same gear that their idol was wearing. The timing could not have been more perfect, and the execution was flawless. But here is where the story gets even more interesting. This was not some lucky coincidence or a spontaneous decision. New Balance knew exactly what they were doing. They had planned this entire strategy around Coco Gauff long before the first ball was even served at the Australian Open. Even before the start of this season, New Balance had made it crystal clear internally that they were going all out on Coco. They understood her star power, they recognized her influence, and most importantly, they were willing to bet big on her ability to move merchandise. New Balance developed a comprehensive strategy to have everything revolve around Coco Gauff. While other brands take the traditional approach of waiting for tournaments to conclude to see whether their sponsored athletes have achieved something noteworthy before launching merchandise or marketing campaigns, New Balance took a completely different route. They understood the face value of Coco Gauff. They knew that she didn't need to win the entire tournament for fans to want to emulate her style and buy her gear. Her mere presence, her popularity, and her influence were enough. So they made the bold decision to go live right in the midst of the first Grand Slam of the year. They had Coco herself announce that all the kits she would be using throughout the Australian Open were available for purchase immediately. This was guerrilla marketing at its finest, and the results speak for themselves. They are just great. Actually, they are beyond great. They are phenomenal.
Never let anyone tell you that you should just do your sport, because no one just does their job. Make sure you explore all parts of you, and you feel like that part fits you, then do it.
In just one day after Coco made her announcement, New Balance made approximately $3 million in sales in the United States alone. Let that sink in for a moment. $3 million in a single day from one product line in one country. This is the kind of number that makes executives at competing brands lose sleep at night. The news has shocked every other major sportswear brand in the industry. Nike, Adidas, Puma, and others are all looking at what New Balance achieved, and they are absolutely envying the fact that New Balance has Coco Gauff on their roster. But New Balance is not resting on their laurels. They are not patting themselves on the back and calling it a day. They have made it abundantly clear that they are not going to stop here. They are going to continue taking help from Coco to get themselves on the charts and to cement their position as a major player in the tennis apparel market. This is just the beginning of what they have planned for this season. What we are witnessing here is not just a win for New Balance. This is a revival. This is a comeback story of epic proportions. New Balance was getting increasingly irrelevant in the tennis section before Coco Gauff came into the picture. While they had some presence in other sports and lifestyle categories, in tennis specifically, they were fading into the background. The big names in tennis were predominantly wearing Nike, Adidas, or other established tennis brands. New Balance needed to make a statement. They needed to make a comeback, and they needed to do it in a big way. Their comeback started with them hiring Coco Gauff, and it has been an upward trajectory ever since. From the moment their partnership began, New Balance has returned to the conversation in tennis as one of the biggest earning brands. Coco has single-handedly dragged New Balance back into relevance and then propelled them to heights they had not reached in years within the tennis market. The numbers from last year tell an incredible story. Thanks to Coco Gauff reaching new heights in her career and consistently performing at the highest level, New Balance experienced a 20% rise in their sales. Their annual sales reached $7.8 billion, which represents a 20% increase compared to the previous year. That is not a small bump. That is a massive leap that directly correlates with Coco's rising star and the strategic decisions New Balance made to center their tennis marketing around her. And here is something fascinating. New Balance is not using a completely new strategy this season. They are not reinventing the wheel. Instead, they are innovating on the previous strategy that worked so brilliantly for them. They are taking what was successful and making it even better, more timely, and more impactful. Let me take you back to the year 2023, when Coco Gauff won her first ever Grand Slam title at the US Open. That moment was historic for Coco, but it was also a pivotal moment for New Balance. They had prepared for that moment with incredible foresight. New Balance waited for the exact moment when Coco won the title, and within seconds after she secured that championship, they launched merchandise celebrating her victory. It was not hours later, it was not the next day, it was seconds. They had everything ready to go, and they pressed the button the moment Coco became a Grand Slam champion. That gave them a massive head start over any competitors who might have wanted to capitalize on the moment. It made it crystal clear to the entire industry that Coco Gauff was not only their brand ambassador in name, but she was genuinely a savior who was making them relevant again in a market segment where they had been struggling. She was bringing them customers, she was bringing them attention, and she was bringing them credibility in the tennis world. That is precisely why New Balance gave her a $300 million deal last year. This was not just a standard endorsement contract. This was a 6-year partnership worth $50 million per year. To put that in perspective, that places Coco among the highest-paid athletes in endorsement deals, not just in tennis, but across all sports. New Balance looked at what Coco was doing for their brand, and they decided she was worth every single penny of that investment. However, that contract will surely need to be negotiated in the coming years, because the competition is only going to get fiercer. Nike and Adidas, the two giants of the sportswear world, are not going to sit back and watch New Balance reap all the benefits of having Coco Gauff represent them. They will surely go all out in trying to bring Coco to their respective brands. They will offer her lucrative deals. They will promise her signature lines. They will dangle every possible incentive in front of her to switch allegiances. But until that day comes, if it ever does, New Balance should be incredibly thankful to Coco Gauff. She has transformed their tennis division from an afterthought into a revenue-generating machine. She has brought them visibility, credibility, and most importantly, sales that they could only have dreamed of a few years ago. The partnership between Coco Gauff and New Balance is a masterclass in how athlete endorsements should work when both parties are fully committed and strategically aligned. What makes this situation even more remarkable is the authenticity of the partnership. Coco genuinely seems to believe in New Balance products, and that authenticity translates to consumers. When she announces that her gear is available, fans believe that she actually uses and trusts those products. That kind of genuine endorsement is worth more than any advertising campaign money can buy. As we watch the Australian Open continue and see Coco wearing her New Balance gear in every match, every practice session, and every press conference, we are watching a marketing phenomenon in real time. Every time she steps on court, she is not just playing tennis, she is generating revenue for New Balance. Every time she wins a match, the sales spike. Every time she makes an announcement, the website traffic surges. This is the new model for sports marketing, and New Balance has figured it out perfectly with Coco Gauff.